Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I am your host, Echo Fang Grey Wolf. So, as in order, this is a martial art chit chat. Alright? So, yeah, I'm just brushing my hair out of my face, getting everything straight. After I chase this dog back down the hallway. Get down the hallway. Go. Keep going. Get your ass down the hallway. Don't come back down this hallway or there will be problems, Missy. Okay. So, as I was saying, before I chased the dog down the hallway, this is a martial art TikTok. So there are a couple of things that I want to address with martial arts. Alright? And I'm going to piss off a lot of martial artists. Do not come for me. This is a warning, not an invitation. Do not underestimate your opponent regardless of their size, because skills are way more important than your size. And besides, this is my opinion. You won't change it even if you whoop my ass, or if you force me to whoop yours. Which is generally, if somebody's coming to you for a fight, they're forcing your hand, which by all rights of the law, self-defense won't actually be necessary when they track the digital footprint, when they track this video, which I clearly stated this is a warning, not an invitation. Now let's go. Now, it was specifically for badasses that do martial arts and think they know something and then kind of find out, no one is as good as they believe they are if they haven't had real life fighting experience. And if you've been into the octagon, I really can't say nothing to you, but I can say this. There's rules in the octagons. I don't have to follow them. You're used to them. I'm used to rules in the streets where size, weight class, all that shit means nothing. I understand that shit. At 48, I've been around the block a few times. You don't have to believe it. It's not my job to convince you to believe it. It is my job to make sure that if you come to bring bodily harm to me, that I extrapolate pieces of your soul with what's left of your body. So, if you have a death wish, you have been warned. Now, let's get to the topic. This is a martial art TikTok. We are going to address a few things that are going to piss off martial artists. And by pissed off, I mean you're going to be pissed off at me. But if you weigh the logic, you might actually understand what I'm saying and think that shit through, because I'm probably closer to right than I am wrong. And I know every school is different. There isn't a single martial arts school that follows the exact rules to the letter that maybe their competition has or maybe another school has. And that's fine. The fact of the matter is this. First, I don't believe in belts. I learned the hard way that I was never going to be able to earn one. Alright? And why do I say that? Is because every school is different. Some schools make you do katas for your belts. Some schools put you through the ringer on breaking boards and bricks for every single belt, risking the chance that you could possibly break your hands. Now, back in the 80s and 70s and the 90s, they didn't have those bricks that you break now that were meant to be broken as a confidence booster. They literally had bricks. Those red blocks with the 3 holes in them. We had to break those. I've never broken one. We had 2x4s. I have broken one with my foot. My foot hurt for a few days after that, the heel of my foot. And this wasn't even in a martial arts class when I did it. Alright? It's like accident. I have punched the brick and ripped off the skin of my knuckles just playing around with my cousin. She ducked and my fist scraped the wall of our house. It took forever for my knuckles to heal. So again, brick breaking, board breaking, it's bullshit. It's nothing really to do with martial arts. It's more or less a test of might. And Mortal Kombat emphasized the fuck out of brick breaking and board breaking. In real life, when you are in a fight, breaking a brick doesn't really impress anybody. Because it might scare a few cats off. I'm not gonna lie. If I see you break 2 bricks with 2 fingers, and your fingers don't break, but the brick breaks, I'm gonna be a little bit intimidated. Does that mean you can whoop my ass? Not by a fucking long shot. It just means you can break fucking bricks and you have strong fingers. Which means if you're using praying mantis, I need to be very aware that you might be able to pierce skin. Which means I'm either going to have to use dragon, tiger, or a whole plethora of different martial arts to make sure that you don't two-finger jab my shit in places that can bring me bodily harm. Like the heart, like the sternum, like the throat, like the eyes. So yeah, you broke 2 bricks with 2 fingers. I'm not intimidated at all. But I'm going to be very cautious fighting your ass because I know that I can't break those fucking bricks. But, as the great Bruce Lee said, bricks don't hit back. That's the difference maker. I don't have to stay there and let you beat my ass. That's a choice. And you catch me sleeping, that's my fault. But if we squaring up and you say, let me show you something, watch what I can do, and you break those bricks, now I gotta fight you. Because I know you can break those bricks. And I know that I can't. So now it's going to come down to technique and endurance and durability. It's going to come down to so much shit that I might have that you don't know that I have. Because while you were breaking bricks, I was fighting people. While you were breaking bricks, I was training. While you were doing pinky push-ups and amazing feats, I was training to fight real people, not inanimated objects. I know that if you hit me, it's going to hurt. I know now that if you hit me when you break 2 bricks with 2 fingers, with just a simple twitch of the wrist and jab, you are dangerous. Which means I have to be lethal when we fight. Which means I can't give 2 fucks about you until this fight is over. You see how that went. Because anybody can break a brick. It means they're strong. Doesn't mean they're good fighting. It just means they're strong. And if I see an old school Sifu who's like 90 years old and he go and break that brick with just so much as a touch, I'm going to be a little bit intimidated. But I also know I got to fight you now. I need to know that trick. I'm never going to learn it. And if I do learn it, I'm never going to use it. But I need to learn that trick. A lot of martial arts are parlor tricks. I got by a lot of fights with simple shit and parlor tricks. Because a lot of people don't understand how fighting works. It is easier to beat someone who has not been trained than it is to beat someone who has been trained. And then, heads or tails, there's an exception to every rule and an exception to the exception of the rule. Hopefully that didn't twist y'all up too much, but it is facts. Anybody with prep can beat the person who did not prep, with a few exceptions. And the reason why I say that, shout out to the comic detective and comics dad, because they're always talking about prep when we talk about superheroes. But in real life, you can study all my YouTube moves all you want. You can study every video I've done on Kung Fu Havoc #1, Kung Fu Havoc #2. You can study every movie that I have posted, minus the ones that need to be posted. You can study all that shit. But those are movies. Those moves are legit, but those are still movies. When we get down to the basics, I'm not going to do anything but basic martial arts. Because basics save your ass. Fancy shit can get you fucked up. Simple shit can save your ass. The S in simple means safety. The F in fancy means you're going to get fucked up. The F in fancy means fucked up. You can see all the Paul Mitchell people doing all these spinning and all the fancy shit that I can't personally do. Not gonna lie about it. I can't do that shit. I'm 48. Be lucky I can still jump. I'm lucky I can still pull off a tornado kick. I'm lucky I can still pull off a butterfly kick. I'm lucky I can still pull off a reverse tornado kick. But see, that's all a mindset. I know what my body can do. I also know what my body can't do. If you think I haven't tried the whole 390-degree turn and then kick, you would be wrong. I've tried it. I failed. I know that I cannot do that because I've tried it and I failed. I have not been able to successfully pull that shit off yet. But I'm also a logical person. If I can't pull it off because I wasn't taught it, which is one, I did see it on a video 10,000 times, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be able to accomplish it like I did with Billy Worth's reverse tornado kick. That's how I learned the reverse tornado kick, by watching Billy Worth and Brian Genesis. How did I learn the butterfly kick? I literally was taught that. See the difference? How did I learn the tornado kick? First time I ever saw it, Raphael the Ninja Turtle. Then Ernie Reyes Jr. Then I started practicing it. Then when I took Taekwondo, only the black belts were doing it. But I could do it too. And I showed them. And not only could I do it, I could do it better than most of them. Which brings us to the belt system. So first thing I'm going to say, this is the part that I'm going to piss off all the martial artists. The belts are a system of control. Day one, you're a white belt until you can do so many katas and so many things, and then you get a yellow belt, and then you get a green belt, and then I believe it's orange, blue, red, no, orange, blue, brown, red, black. Now, I might be wrong on that, so you guys might have to Google it and fact check it, but for the most schools, you start off with white and you end with black, all right? But before you get black, you get to be red, and I gotta chase this dog back down the hall. Go down that hallway right now. Go. Get in that cage, and if you come back down this hallway, I'm gonna lock you in that cage. Now go to sleep. Moving on. You start with the white belt, you end with the black belt. And after you get so far, I had a black belt. I think like after you get the 5th degree, then they start calling you like Dons and all this other ridiculous shit that's not even necessary. And eventually you might get Grandmaster or Great Grandmaster and stuff that I'm probably never going to achieve. But in the end, it's still a system of control. Okay? It is literally a system of control. It is also the system that has held me back when it comes to schools. And I have said this 1,000 times, and I'll probably say it 1,000 times more before I pass away. If I could fight for my belt, I'd have a black belt, because I've sparred and beaten black belts easily. I've done shit black belts have never seen done before, because there's no limit to what I believe I can do until I can't. Like the 360, etc., spinning thing. Like the Mach de Costco's only the strong finishing move. I did that one time by accident in a swimming pool. I didn't stick the landing though. I landed with face down in a pool of water, and it hurt because my head hit the fucking water, and I come back up real quick because I almost drowned. So, will I ever attempt that shit again? Hell no. Because basically what it is a hyper tornado kick to the 20th power. You start off with a tornado kick, but you're spinning all the way around in a circle, and you connect with all that momentum. So since I only did it once, and it was an accident, there's no way in hell I can ever do it again. I got a better chance of finishing somebody off with a fucking butterfly kick, which is not a finishing move, it's an escape actually. A lot of people don't know that, but hey, it's actually an escape move. If you don't know the butterfly kick is literally an escape move from a foot sweep. It is not a special kick, it is an escape move. It is not a finisher. For those who don't know, now you do. The butterfly kick throughout history has went from being a martial art kick to an ice skating move. So trust me, it is an escape move for when I throw a foot sweep, whether it be a reverse foot sweep where I spin from the back, or whether it be a front foot sweep when I spin from the front. But it is an escape move. That's what that shit is. It literally is for escaping. It is not really a heavily used assault tactic. Now, some people can use that shit as an assault tactic. Don't take it wrong. Don't think that it can't be used. But it's really timing. The butterfly kick works specifically on timing, as everything else in martial arts. Your timing has to be on point. And if it isn't, you're going to find out. You know, as they say all over TikTok and all over Instagram, and especially in the military, fuck around and find out. You know, you're going to find out. But the butterfly kick literally is an escape move from the foot sweep. A lot of people don't remember that shit, but it literally is an escape move. The system of control. So I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old. And no matter what school I've gone to, they've always started me off day one. And I'm going to tell you, again, I'm about to piss off martial artists. You can't do that. You literally have to stop doing that. If someone tells you that they have martial art experience, you need to pull them to the side. And you need to let them show you what they can do and what they've learned. And then you can rank them accordingly. And then, thought I saw something. And then you can decide what class to put them in and what belt to assign them. Because if I've been doing martial arts since I was 7, and I can beat black belts in sparring matches without even trying, I should be qualified to at least be up there in rank. I shouldn't have to go white belt, green belt, white belt, yellow belt, green belt, blue belt, orange belt, brown belt, red belt, black belt. I shouldn't have to go through all that shit. As a sensei, as a sifu, as a teacher, you should be able to elevate what I already know and make me better at the style you are teaching versus trying to unteach what I already know by putting me in day 1, class 1. Now, a lot of y'all ain't going to agree with that. And I understand that you don't. I understand that you won't understand why I said that. Because I'm 48 years old, and I can tell you from the jump, you can't unteach someone something that they've started since they were a child. I started in freestyle karate. Let me make sure you understand what that means. Freestyle karate. For me, that was a style where there were no katas. A punch is a punch. A kick is a kick. And this is where it lands. Boom. Boom. Then when I started taking Kimpo and Kung Fu, it was break at the joint. Everywhere there's a joint, there's a pressure point. Kimpo and Wing Chun was kind of similar with the grapples and the joints. Same thing with Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't do any katas in Jiu-Jitsu. I learned armbar. I learned armbar. I learned Fujiwara. I learned triangle. I learned how to get there standing up versus trying to make you tap out on the ground with BJJ, which I fucking suck at. Judo. I learned how to throw people. And how do you throw people with a hip toss? Well, it's a hell of a lot easier to throw them off of 1 foot versus 2, especially when they outweigh you. When you pull me, I push you so that I take control. Now, if I'm real good, when I push you, I can grab you by your lapel, jump in the air, spin around, and then throw you on the ground, providing that our weights are somewhat similar. If our weights aren't similar and you don't have enough momentum for me to do that, I need to up my game and try to put a stop. So when you push me, I pull you. When you pull me, I push you. But if I'm pushing you, I need to be able to revert and put a belly with your elbow because you're pushing me. So if I push my elbow into your belly while you're pulling me, if you're pulling me and I can't stop the pull, so I push, I can put my hand into your belly this way while you're still pulling me, and then I can push in, putting my fist here, pushing in to cut off your wind, so that's going to stop you from pulling me, and then I can take over the fight. Alright? You got to learn these things, so you can't take me day 1 and start teaching me something that I already know or have known, probably can do better than you can teach me anyway. Why are you putting me back there? It doesn't work that way. I have an accelerated learning curve. You only have to teach me a few things once or twice and then I'm good to go. But that only works for my martial arts. It doesn't work for anything else. It really doesn't. It doesn't work for anything else. But if I'm learning a martial art, within the first 3 days, if it's something that I don't already know, that's different. But after that first 3 days of teaching me what I already know, I'm going to get that shit. Unless it's a fucking kata. Alright? When I started with freestyle karate, there were no katas. When I started taking kung fu, there wasn't any katas, but there was physical attacks. But they teach you your blocks, your karate blocks, your kung fu or your basic blocks, your Muay Thai blocks. They teach you that shit. You just gotta know when to fucking use what block at what appointed time. And sometimes you don't get a chance to realize what block. You just do it naturally. Like me, it becomes second nature. Just like this damn dog that's about to come back down the hall again for about the 3rd or 4th time. I'm going to have to choke her shit. Anyway, that being said, you have to understand. You have to teach people on their level. Now, if they're beneath you or above you and they need to go back to day 1, that's something y'all need to discuss. Because you can't go to a martial arts school and have no experience and think you're going to get a black belt, because that's like a big fucking negative. But if you go to a martial arts school and have some experience, the sensei and you should have a sit down talk. And if he's like, look, you have a belt and whatever you learn, and if you're like, no, I don't have a belt, he's like, well, in my school, I'm going to start you off as a white belt. And then I would respectfully say, well, I thank you. I'm going to decline your school. He's like, why are you going to decline my school? I'm saying, because you're going to put me back day one and make me go through the same bullshit that I already know because I have martial art experience. You're not teaching me shit other than humility. I don't need to be humiliated. I know what humility is. What you need to do is teach me on the level I'm on. If you give me a trial and I show you that I'm well past yellow or green belt status, then you should let me earn my belt physically with combat. Let me go against your top green belt. Give us some game rules. 3 takedowns, winner takes all. You know, if I can take this guy 3 takedowns without him taking me down 3 times, then I've earned my green belt. Excuse me. We ain't doing this. Stay in that cage. This will probably happen a couple more times. And I'm going to chow down these Pop-Tarts in a minute. If I can go mano a mano with your top red belt, brown belt, or black belt, that is the training that you should be more than willing to give me. I.e., the belt system is a system of fucking control to keep you down from where you are. When I first went to Mr. Ennis for Taekwondo, God rest his soul. When I first went to Mr. Ennis for Taekwondo, day one, white belt. We didn't have any discussions on anything. He just said, have you ever taken Taekwondo before? And I said, no. But I have taken karate. I have dabbled in Kung Fu. He's like, well, then you're going to get a white belt and you're going to start day one. And the way to get belts in this school is that we do katas. We don't break bricks or anything until you get the black belt level. But we do katas. Now, my dumb ass never did a kata a day in my life before Taekwondo. Never. Never did a kata. I fought because that's what I was taught to do. I was taught how to apply Kung Fu. I was taught how to apply karate. I was never taught how to do a fucking kata until I took Taekwondo. And I sucked at katas. And sadly, Mr. Ennis did not work with me on my katas. He did not invest in me. I love the man, but he didn't invest in me until it came to making me do push-ups for not calling a 13-year-old kid who had a black belt or a blue belt or a green belt or whatever belt the kid had, sir. And then the kid was always being a smartass. And the kid said something to me one time. I said, you know what, buddy? I said, I don't give a crap what belt you have. I promise you, if I take you to my neighborhood with a kid your age with a mouth like that, all the belts you know in the world, every belt that you've earned here by all these katas, ain't gonna mean shit when you come across that 13-year-old from my block that fights and don't give a damn about your karate or your taekwondo, but they fight and they adapt. And he laughed it off, and I had to do push-ups. And you know, when you think about shit like that, this is why I don't believe in calling some kid that ain't even 14 years old, sir. I call people in the military, sir. You know, lieutenants, captains. Everyone else, they work for a living. So I shouldn't have had to call this kid sir. But that was his school. I had to respect the school. I did a lot of fucking push-ups on my knuckles because I refused to call that kid sir. Just refused. I wasn't trying to be a dick about it, but he had a mouth. You know, I wasn't going to respect him without being respected. And I know that's wrong because that's their school and you're supposed to respect the rules of the school. Yes, you are. I'm damn guilty of being disrespectful. But at the same time, the teacher never said shit to him no matter how he talked to the rest of us. Yet, respect is supposed to be very important in the martial art world. Correct me if I'm wrong, as I look at my farmer's tan and all this light. Anyway, I'm a strong believer in if you are a black belt in karate, you might as well say you're a black belt in Kung Fu. There's very, very little differences. Same thing with Taekwondo. Taekwondo is just more distance. Kung Fu and karate are a little bit more close up. Capoeira is exceptionally flashy. Thai fighting is exceptionally strength empowering, and everything else falls in the middle. You'll be the judge when you learn that shit. MMA is very well rounded, which means you've learned a lot of shit with a mix of all martial arts. And to be truthful, there are very few martial arts that are useless. Now, let me reiterate, and I said that wrong, by the way. I'm not a fan of BJJ. I'm not a fan of Krav Maga. I don't know what the fuck Sistema is. I just found out about Kali maybe 2.5 years ago. I didn't know the Filipinos had martial arts. I just found out today, or yesterday rather, that Native Americans have martial arts. I don't know what it's called, so I have to do research now. But the simple fact is, if you are a black belt in any martial art and you're going to a new martial art, I can't untrain what you already know. I can only train you from the level you are on. And like I say this, 1,000 things can go wrong before one thing goes right. But what I can definitely teach you is from where you are to see how far I can take you. And you will see the similarities with the style you already know with the style you're learning. You will adapt your style that you already have to what you're knowing. And you will become well-rounded. And it's only so far I can take you, especially if you're already better than me. You know what I'm saying? If I can see you can do that whole 385-degree turn and then tornado kick, I can only teach you how to kill people. You already know how to do all the fancy kicks and shit in the world. There's nothing else I really can teach you. I will not be the school for you. Let's keep that shit real. I can't do that. So what the fuck can I teach you other than lethal ordnance? Because you already got the kicks and shit down. Now all I can teach you is where to kick a person. And you're going to have to show me the kick on like a bob so I can see how I can train you to kick people in lethal ordnance style. But as far as me trying to do that shit because you can do it, nah, that shit ain't gonna happen. Which goes back to, if you're better than me, I can only give you wisdom from here. I can only teach you lethal ordnance. I can't give you anything that I don't have to give you when you're way better than me. See what I'm saying? Again, system of control. Gotta think about that shit. Now, BJJ, yeah, I would say I would be a white belt until I die. But that does not mean if I get to fighting with the BJJ black belt, that BJJ black belt is going to whoop my ass. He's going to whoop my ass if I try to fight him with BJJ. Straight up, he's going to whoop my ass. I know that going in. He knows that going in because he's the one wearing the black belt. But what he doesn't know is that I know how to stop BJJ, which is the immediate, when I learned in the Army, when I learned BJJ and I found out just how much I suck at it, I started counter-clocking my brain. How can I stop a double leg? How can I stop a single leg? How can I stop this guy from putting me on my back? Now, I do have back game because, in Kung Fu and Karate, they do teach you how to fight from your back. But BJJ is a little bit more complicated. And I don't really teach you how to fight from your back, but they teach you how to hold people while you're on your back and put them in all kinds of arm bars and locks and make people tap. Which is great while you're in the gym, while you're in competition. When you get out in the street, no one's tapping. No one gives a shit that you're bigger. No one's literally going to let you take them to the ground. But in the event that I can't stop you from taking me to the ground, I need to know what to do when we get on the ground. So my entire time in Delta Company, while I was getting my ass handed to me by a guy who was like 6'8" and 300 pounds, I was learning, how do I stop this shit so that it never happens to me ever the fuck again? So I can stop a BJJ attack. Because BJJ really only works if you're on the ground. BJJ is not for the streets. Just like Wushu is not for the streets. They say Wing Chun is not for the streets. I'm going to put it to you this way. This is where I become a hypocrite. It depends on the martial artist. Alright? If you're a martial artist and you're a BJJ expert, and I'm not a martial artist, and you whoop my ass with BJJ, first, if you get me on the ground, that was a feat. And then you whoop my ass, you whoop my ass. But since I'm a martial artist, and you're a martial artist, and I'm well-rounded, and you just know BJJ. BJJ doesn't work if you're not on the ground. All right? How did I know this? Because I learned BJJ in the Army. So I learned how to stop you from getting me to the ground, which means you've seen me do this video before. You're going for this leg. I'm going to feed you this knee. You're going for this leg. I'm going to feed you this knee. If I can't feed you that knee, then I'm going to the ground. But I'm going to feed you those knees when I land on my back, and I'm going to try to roll you over like they taught us in judo. Because you know the judo roll. Grab the gi, roll them over. When you get thrown on the ground, you can grab the gi and flip them over. And just like regular jiu-jitsu, I can turn that roll over into an arm bar because I don't have to let you go all the way over. I just have to get you far enough where I can lock that shit, get my head around your arm or get my legs around your neck, triangle your shit. BJJ and jiu-jitsu both do have ground game. If you learn jiu-jitsu, you definitely learn some ground shit. Alright? If you learn karate, you learn some ground shit. If you learn kung fu, you learn some ground shit. If you learn some kenpo, you learn some ground shit. Is my ground shit great? Fuck no. My ground shit is not great. And I know that. But now everybody knows it because they're watching the video. But if you didn't know it and you met me on the street, you tried to do some BJJ shit, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. Try to do some jiu-jitsu shit, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. Try to do some judo shit, I'm gonna fuck your shit up because those are arts that I've studied. You understand? So whatever art I need to study, the only things I haven't studied is Sistema, Krav Maga, and fucking Kali. Everything else I've dabbled in a little bit. I'm not great at it, but I've recognized it enough that if you bring it at me, I can fuck your shit up so that you don't fuck my shit up. Be well-rounded. Finally, we're gonna close out with this. All martial arts are related. A kick will always be a kick. A punch will always be a punch, no matter how the fuck you name it. But I will say this. It is not so much how hard you hit as to where you hit. If you don't take anything else from me on that, you can call me a fraud, you can call me a fake, you can call me whatever the fuck you want. But understand, if I hit you right the first time, the fight's mine. Whether you like it or not. If I hit you in your sternum, if I hit you in your throat, you're done. Because I don't give a fuck how big you are. If you can't breathe, you can't beat my ass. Period. And that doesn't matter if you're 5'2", 4'11", or 6'12". That means you're 7 feet tall by legal standards. Doesn't matter how big you are. If I hit you right the first time, it's a done deal. Size does not matter in a fight. That's an ego problem. I'm a small guy. I don't have a big ego. But I do believe that most people who are 6'2" and above, they don't really want to show me love unless they want to show me love by way of the fist and trying to beat my ass. Now, I can't beat you. I'll guarantee you, I can't beat you. But I can kill you. That's why I said, I don't have to beat you to kill you. And that's the problem. You can kill someone in martial arts by accident. Be worthy of your skills. And be wary of your skills and knowledge. But most importantly, be knowledgeable of your enemy's skills. Because when the fight starts, it doesn't stop until one of y'all drop. Enough said. Thank you for watching. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Be seeing you.